It began like any other summer night in Texas. A light rain, a forecast for storms, nothing that hadn't been seen before in the rolling hills of the hill country. But by dawn on July 4th, peace had turned into horror. And an entire region, especially the quiet retreat of Camp Mystic, would never be the same again. This is the story of the 2025 Texas Hill Country flood, a catastrophe of nature, science, and unpreparedness, and why experts say it may not be the last. The flood that erased Texas Hill Country's July 4th tragedy. The night it happened. Under skies blacker than ink, the heavens opened up. Rain began to fall in sheets, relentless, pounding, unceasing. But it wasn't just rain. This was a meteorological monster. A rare event known as a mesoscale convective vortex formed, a swirling system about 30 miles wide. It pulled moisture straight from the Gulf of Mexico and flung it inland like a fire hose. Storm after storm pummeled the same stretch of land again and again. By the time the night was over, 1.88 trillion gallons of rain had poured over the Edwards Plateau. That's 4 months of rain in one night. Where tragedy struck. Nestled along the Guadalupe River, Camp Mystic is a beloved Christian retreat. Each year, families send their daughters to this serene summer camp for bonding, prayer, and nature. But on the night of the flood, Camp Mystic became a nightmare. The floodwaters came in silence and in darkness. Bunk beds were torn apart. Teddy bears were found buried in mud. One little girl's sandal was discovered 15 feet high, tangled in a tree branch. Counselors screamed in the dark, trying to wake children. Some tried to swim. Many never made it. At least 27 girls remain missing. Others were found lifeless, carried miles downstream. Flash Flood Alley, a beautiful death trap. Texas Hill Country is postcard beautiful, but it hides a deadly secret. Geologists call it Flash Flood Alley, a crescent-shaped stretch of land known for steep hills, thin soil, and rapid runoff. When rain hits here, it doesn't seep in, it flows, and it flows fast. It's one of the most flood-prone areas in the entire United States. And yet, year after year, we build in its valleys. We camp by its rivers. We forget. Forecasting failures. The National Weather Service did issue alerts. Flood watches were posted that Thursday afternoon, but their models predicted 3 to 5 inches of rain, not 10, not 18. By the time emergency warnings reached phones at 1:14 a.m., it was already too late. Parents would later say, "We got the warnings hours later. The damage was already done." The failure wasn't just the storm. It was a failure of communication, of preparation, of technology. The climate factor. Why are these floods becoming more violent, more frequent? Scientists are clear. Climate change is not just a theory. It's a threat. Warm air holds more moisture. Warm oceans generate more vapor. The result? Storms that drop more water in less time over smaller areas. The Gulf of Mexico has been unusually warm for months, supercharging this storm like a turbo booster. It's like squeezing a wet sponge over Texas, over and over and over again. History repeats itself. This isn't the first time the Guadalupe River has claimed lives. In 1987, 10 children died during another camp evacuation in the same region. Same county, same river, same mistakes. Nearly 40 years later, it happened again. The question is, why are we still unprepared? Rescue, not recovery, yet. More than 850 people have been rescued. Coast Guard helicopters fly non-stop. Drones scan mud-caked riverbanks. Volunteers and search dogs trek miles in the thick heat. Officials insist this is still a rescue mission, not recovery. But time is running out. And with each passing hour, hope fades. The state responds. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has declared a disaster across more than a dozen counties, including Kerr, Kendall, Gillespie, Bandera, and more. He promised limitless resources for those affected. But resources are one thing, readiness is another. The infrastructure is outdated. The forecasting systems are stretched thin. The emergency pipeline, from meteorologists to first responders to the public, is broken. The lesson we must learn: we can't control the rain, but we can control how we prepare for it. This flood must become a turning point. Flood forecasting must evolve. Infrastructure must be upgraded. Public awareness must be urgent. Because in Flash Flood Alley, just 5 minutes of rising water can take everything. Camp Mystic will rebuild. The rivers will recede. But for dozens of families, this storm has left a permanent mark. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder that nature doesn't care about tradition, nostalgia, or routine. It only cares that it warned us, and we didn't listen. In memory of the lives lost in the July 4th Texas flood, may their stories lead to change.